This morning. I'm glad you guys are here. We are not currently in the series right now, but I wanted to share my Dharma talk before we get rolling into the body, because I'd like you to have some contemplative food for thought and something to be mindful of as we explore these different postures. And what I wanted to mention today was a statement that I know Swami Shivananda is known to say, but there's a lot of yogic gurus who say this. Equanimity is yoga. Yoga is equanimity. That's not the definition of yoga, because yoga means to yoke, to bind together, to bring into union. But if you think about it, equanimity is when we have that balance, when we are grounded and we are centered and we have that state of even-mindedness. That's equanimity. And that's one of the intentions for doing this practice. It's one of the goals in participating in this practice, is to develop some equanimity. And equanimity is something that we don't hold on to a lot, especially when we have strong winds coming at us, metaphorically speaking, in life. When we're dealing with hardships, when we're dealing with challenges, what we're dealing with right now, right? It's a challenge. And so the practice is, can you develop some equanimity and take it all in stride and not look at it necessarily as being good or bad, and not creating division about it, not getting polarized about it, not being aloof about it, not being dull in your neutrality, but a mature neutrality. And I think this is a really important lesson, especially with what we're going through right now, and especially if astrology is right about what's to come. And I'll be talking more about astrological things in numerology for 2022 on Saturday when I do a workshop. So by the end of the month, it's going to be a lot of fireworks, and it's not talking about New Year's Eve. There's a lot of planets in retrograde. There's a lot happening universally. And we may be seeing a lot of that playing out. We already are. So hold on tight. We're here to develop that calm state of equanimity so that we can face life and all the stressors and all that comes with it when we depart. So I'm happy you're here. Talking about Swami Shivananda. Swami Shivananda was one of the gurus that was like really big in the 60s and 70s. In fact, he opened up Woodstock. He opened up another rock festival, I know, that happened right after Woodstock in Atlanta. And before any of the bands and musicians came on to the stage to perform, Swami Shivananda came on with his long hair and his long beard and his white robes, and he sat down at the microphone and he said, "Before you get high or do anything else," and it was probably too late, right? Yeah. But he said, "I want you to try this." And he would teach them pranayama, and he would give them words of wisdom, and he would sit with them in meditation, because really with everything that was happening during that time, there was a lot of civil chaos. There was a lot of civil rights happening. There was women's liberation coming around. There was a big cultural shift. And they were like, let's create some change. Let's create a movement to invite some change. And so with that, the yogis were coming in and saying, if you want to really create positive change, if you want to alter your state of consciousness without, the intake of, whatever they're putting into their body, try these methods. Try these methods of going into yourself and using your breath and moving your body and calming the whirlpools of emotion and calming the fluctuations and the craziness in your mind, so that you can actually have a heightened state of euphoria, so that you can be in that state of equanimity. And you're not looking at everything as being so contrastively different. And from that space, you cultivate some inner peace. And from that state of inner peace, remember last week we were talking about everything at the micro level can affect everything at the macro level. Everything happening at the macro level is going to affect us at a micro level. because we're all based in energy. Energy is running through everything and everyone. And so us just being here is going to help the collective. The ripple effects will continue to happen, not just within, but around us, and just trust that. So let's go ahead and start on our backs, knowing that equanimity is part of our theme for today. You don't necessarily need props for this because we're going to get rolling into movement after we center. But once you're reclined down to your back, take your hands to rest on your abdomen. Flex through your ankles, push out through the backside of your legs and through your heels. Set them back to the floor and then flip-flop them in and out. Eventually allowing the toes to roll away from your center. And bringing a little relaxation up through the legs. Close your eyes for a moment and just start to feel the contact of the earth beneath your body. Feel the weight residing in the heels of the feet. Perhaps a little groove or space behind your ankles. The softness of the calves spilling down to the floor. Perhaps a little space underneath your knees. A portion of the back of the thighs landing down. Your seat spreading out. That natural lift or curve through the lumbar area of your back. The pressure behind your back ribs. Softening the shoulders. Relaxing the neck. Feeling the weight of the head. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. Know that the earth is going through its own shifts, its own massive changes. We are all in this together. Start to notice this other realm of support that's coming in through your breath. Allowing the air to enter in through the nose, as well as to exit through the nose, unless you're congested and need to breathe through the mouth, or a blend of the two. And then I want you to enhance your breath, developing a deeper inhale to bring in fresh prana and life force energy. Equally emphasizing the exhale to send out any stale or stagnant air from the lungs. Breath being the primary portal of energy. Continue to let it roll in and roll out. And allow this time for you to receive a breathing treatment, because the breath alone can help us to develop this equanimity. Equanimity being the practice of resilience and unwavering balance in the face of difficulty. Cultivating a state of calm and even-mindedness. I want you to set your intention that as you continue to breathe and move today, that you're going to focus internally on various movements, sensations, thoughts, or emotions that may cause you to flinch or react. things that you might have an impulse towards. And this way you're practicing swadhyaya, self-inquiry, part of yogic philosophy. And to realize if you really want to develop equanimity, we have to practice another piece of yogic philosophy, which is a parigraha, non-attachment. In Buddhism, equanimity is actually considered one of the 4 virtues, alongside compassion, loving kindness, and sympathetic joy. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. And I want you to experience the belly ballooning on the inhale and deflating on the exhale. So continue to try to breathe down into the depth of your belly and equally try to breathe up into your heart space. Breathing down into the belly and up into your heart space. All right, on your next inhalation, let's go ahead and walk the feet closer together and sail the right leg skyward. Let's link the hands behind the thigh. Let's fire up the left leg, sit it down the lane of your mat and flex through that ankle. Sway open through the toes. And if you're not quite at your edge of flexibility, or if you're unsure, feel free to slide your hands up to your calf. And some of you might even be able to link the peace mudra, the first 2 fingers around the big toe. Please do not force anything to occur. You are in the pose regardless of where the hands are set. This is a supine variation of Padangusthasana A. A great way to warm up the back of the legs that doesn't involve the back. Now notice if your breath altered. Can you create an even rhythmic breath? You can breathe in a diaphragmatic way, the way we just were, down into the belly and up into the heart. Or you can activate the Ujjayi pranayama by constricting the back of the throat as if you're drinking from a straw, allowing the breath to become more audible to hear. Now, if you're holding the big toe, it can stay there. If you're holding the back of the calf or your thigh, release your left hand. Just let your right hand carry the leg over to the right side of your body. As it opens out to the side, press out through the mound of the big toe. That will activate the inseam of the leg a little bit more. This is Padangusthasana B. Take 1 more breath. Opening up those inner thighs. And now bend your right knee and take your right hand to hold the outside of the foot. You're driving the foot down with your arm strength to lower the right knee towards the right side of your mat. The sole of the foot faces the ceiling. This is a happy baby pose. Now we're operating more into the hips here. Now on your next in breath, we're going to activate this a little bit more. So we're going to hover the left foot. We're going to scoop in through the belly, lifting the head off the floor, coming to lightning boat pose. Continue to pierce the navel in towards the spine. Point the left foot this time. Take 1 extra breath. And then as you exhale, you can slowly lower the head and the heel back down to your mat. And then release the right foot. Go ahead and send yourself back into a corpse position. Right leg extends down. Join the left. It's a little separation between the feet. Close your eyes for a moment and just notice the residual effects of those poses to this right side. You may feel a little bit more sedated or grounded. Perhaps you feel that circulation opening up in various pockets. Stay attuned within. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and lift the left leg. We'll take Padangusthasana A. So at first, just hooking your hands behind your thigh. Firing up the feet a little bit more. And notice when you fire up through the feet, it's going to help to activate the muscles up the kinetic chains of the legs. Finding your edge of flexibility by perhaps staying as you are, or sliding the hands up to the calf, or potentially the peace mudra around the big toe. Please let go of the idea that one is better than the other. That's not the case. You're still benefiting no matter what. So continue to hold that state of equanimity. Deep breathing. That's a key component. It is the heart of yoga. Now let's start to shift over into Padangusthasana B. So maybe releasing your right hand, using your left hand to guide the leg away from your midline. Now, if you really lengthen out through the right leg, it's going to help to stabilize the pelvis so that you're not tipping or turning from that area. Reach out through the mound of the big toe. As you exhale, bend the knee. Let your handhold go to the pinky toe side of the foot, and you're driving the foot down, which presses the knee towards gravity, even though it's not going to touch. Half happy baby pose. You may even notice for your cross comparison whether or not your left side is tighter than your right or vice versa. In order to develop a true state of equanimity, we have to let go of attachments, let go of expectations. And just let it be. Now lift and extend your right leg pointing the toes, scooping through the abdomen, lengthen your right arm over it. And when you contract your abs, that should naturally allow you to lift your head so there's no strain in your neck. If you're straining your neck, try to squeeze them through the abs more. One more breath in lightning bolts. And then exhale, release. Now go ahead and extend your left leg down the length of your mat. And residing on the belly. Hopefully you're feeling some more equanimity now that we've worked through both sides. If you find that you're a little off, that's just because most of us have some misalignment somewhere. And this notification that you're receiving through this inner investigation can help you to explore more poses that can help you to release the side that holds more stress when you're out in life or at home. Now bend your knees and then allow them to flop open, let the soles of the feet meet.
Keeping the hands residing on the belly for a moment. Breathe down into the belly. Up into the heart. You may have experienced a strong sensation at first, but maybe your body's beginning to mold into it a little bit more. The breath can really help to shift us into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we're less reactive. So use your breath wisely here. Now I want you to notice, we're going to lace the hands and put them up underneath the base of the skull. So now the elbows are winging open just as the knees are. We're creating the upper and lower half of the butterfly wings. Notice how it lifted the cavity of the chest more. You may feel more of the natural curves in your spine. Continue to develop deep breaths here. And then I want you to affirm mentally within, I accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for further growth. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Secure in myself, I accept whatever is. Successes, failures, highs and lows, the good and the bad. Inhale, let's draw the knees back together. And as you exhale, remove your hands, cup a hold of your knees, draw them in for the wind release pose. Try to imprint your spine down on your mat, meaning you're trying not to curl the buttocks off the floor. Keep the sacrum anchored down. This is really good for stretching the back. If you've been traveling or sitting for long periods of time, this can be helpful. If you've been standing, waiting in long lines, walking or hiking or wearing high heels, this can be great relief for the low back. We'll gently roll over to one side of your body. We're ready to come up to flow. That was our warm-up. So we're going to come up to stand at this point. Like I said, I want you to have some clear space in front of you. And we'll get to that in a little bit. So stand at the top of your mat, and I want you to really root and ground your feet. Make sure your toes are lined up on an invisible line. And when you really pressurize the feet, you should feel your leg muscles start to contract. And then you want to zip up through your midriff. That's going to elongate the waist and bring some space into the low back, and draw your hands together to prayer. As you inhale, we're going to start with Surya Namaskaras. When you lift the arms up overhead, really root your feet, really extend the arms skyward, 2 lines of energy. Exhale, you can keep that expansive feel as you swan dive down to your Uttanasana. Letting the arms go as you hinge from the hips, letting your neck get neutral. On your next inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lean them long through the vertebrae. Exhale, draw back down, belly, chest, and face. Uttanasana. Inhale, step back to plank. And create columns with your arms. Hug the belly in towards the back. Pluck your thighs up towards the sky. And then shift forward, shoulders past wrists. Lower down slowly, mindfully to Chaturanga Dandasana. Land your knees, bloom up to upward facing dog. Exhale, roll back over your toes to downward facing dog. Hands shoulder distance apart. Feet hip distance apart. We're rooting the hands and the feet so that the seat flies up, up, and away. Creating the pinnacle of this pose. There should be a blend here between strength and flexibility, a blend here between effort and ease. And that would help us with developing equanimity. On your next inhale, you can meditationally walk, you can lunge, or you can float both feet simultaneously together to the top of the mat, coming to Ardha Uttanasana upon arrival, and then draping down and in on the out breath. Inhale, root the feet, rise all the way up. Exhale, bring hands to the heart. We're going to continue warming the muscles this way. Inhale, expand, open. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lift halfway up, create some space. Good, exhale, bow back over. Inhale, take your plank position. Spread out through the fingers. Keep your head up. Shift forward and lower down on your out breath. Inhale, rise up on the in breath. Exhale, roll back. Downward facing dog. Now you're lengthening out of your wrists. You're lengthening up and out of the shoulders. You're opening up space in your side ribs. And developing that rhythmic breath to create space in your mind. Inhale, bringing the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to arrive is fine. Exhale, let go. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to continue this process. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold into self. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, lower back in. Beautiful breath. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, urdhva mukha svanasana. Exhale, adho mukha svanasana. Pause here and breathe here. And so if you ever need, momentary break, child's pose is available. Puppy pose is also available. Sometimes we need those breaks if we're truly gearing ourselves towards equanimity, depending on what we're coming to the mat with. Inhale, feet plant at the top. Open your heart center. Look out with your eyes. Exhale, lower back in. Inhale, coming up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart. We're doing 2 more Surya Namaskars before we move on. Inhale, open. Exhale, close in. Inhale, sprout up. Exhale, close in. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga, like that low push-up. Feel that strength, and then inhale, create that stretch. Exhale, create the blend, strength and stretch. Beautiful breath, beautiful you. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, full fold in. Gravitate the heart a little lower. See if there's any progress along the way. Inhale to the top. Exhale, release. Let go of expectations if you don't see the progress, okay? It's part of the yoga philosophy. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, open up. Exhale, pour down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, invert yourself in downward facing dog. So let your head just release between the upper arms. Contain open eyes, because with open eyes in this pose, we can see things differently. And that's the idea of being flipped upside down. That's what inversions help to teach us, to gain a different perspective of things. We haven't developed equanimity. We're usually caught up in our own limited perception. Your next in-breath, bring the feet to the top of the mat. Exhale, let go. Inhale all the way up. All right, pause here with your feet really grounded. Lace your hands together, and for the guys in the room, your right thumb crosses over your left, and for the ladies, left thumb over the right. Lace the fingers, keep your pointer fingers together, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, hug the head with your arms. And now that you focus on the shoulders, make sure you're still grounding your feet and curve to the right. It's not all about the flexion, okay? So make sure it's more concerned about the breath. You want the breath wide open, readily available, smooth and rhythmic. If your breath is inhibited at all, you're probably doing too much physically. So back up a little bit. Inhale, rise to the top. Exhale, curve to the left. Try not to allow that right shoulder to flop in front of the face. We want to keep it out of our peripheral line of view if possible. Inhale, back to the top. Exhale, hands to prayer position. Now close your eyes. Bring the thumbs to the top of the sternum. Affirming here, salutations to the sun, to the awakening light within, to the dawning of a higher state of consciousness in all beings. Let's continue to develop some equanimity. All right, we're going to take the left hand to the waist. And we're going to shift our weight to that left leg and foot, and we're going to hold the right knee. Padangusthasana A. Open the Padangusthasana B. Fixate your eyes on one spot. Bring the knee back in front, swap hands to hold it. This is a little bit more challenging. Take the right arm and display it behind your back. And if you want to challenge your balance, turn your head to the right. That's a harder one. Exhale, release. Okay, it's usually easier the second time because now you know what we're doing. All right, so we'll try it now. Right hand to the waist. Shift your weight onto that right foot. Pick up your left. Hold the knee. Open to B. Back to the front, swap hands. Left arm behind the back. Drishti can remain, or you can challenge your balance and turn the head to the left.
and release. Right, one side's always typically easier to balance on too. And the balance changes moment to moment, day by day, depending on our diet, depending on medication, depending on where we're at mentally. Ground your feet. Hands to prayer. Inhale, arms circle up. Exhale, fold. All right, so when you're in this forward fold, we've done this several rounds already. But I want you to focus on really plugging the feet down into the floor, really engaging your calf muscles, and creating some definition in your quadriceps to support the stretch behind the legs. But then I want you to drape the head down and close your eyes because I want you to focus on this aspect of equanimity, at least physically in your body. So I want you to notice whether or not you have equal weight distribution between each leg and each foot. So many of us, myself included, cater to one side more than the other. You can notice this when you're brushing your teeth. Which leg do you lean towards? Which side of the couch do you gravitate to? How do you sit in your car when you're driving? So develop this mindfulness, equal weight distribution between each leg and each foot, also from the heels to the balls of the feet. Good. When you're ready, bend the knees, scoot the belly in, and roll it up one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. All right, did you notice? You did? What'd you notice? Do you lean one way or the other?
Yeah,
Or too far back or too far front?
on my right.
You lean to your right.
To keep focus on doing both.
I lean to the left. So whatever you notice, your habits in life, it is going to show up on the mat. And if you can start to correct it on the mat, you're going to start to notice and correct it in life. We need to develop more equanimity across the board. Bring your block to the left corner of your mat. We're going to do a sequence here. And I first want you to take your pinky toe to the corner of it. And then you're going to slide it back about 12 to 15 inches. Okay. Sometimes people don't like that. They're like, really, I'm not slow anymore. I don't remember. A ruler's distance, basically. Set your right foot back. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate really quick, and then we're going to all do it. See how the right foot's turned in? Let's go ahead and correct that back foot. You want to turn it so it's more parallel to the back of your mat. Good. Did you notice when you turn the foot how your torso kind of turned and now you're facing the wall, the entrance? Keep your torso facing there, but then you can turn to look towards me. What we're going to do is we're going to go into triangle pose. We're going to circle the arm down, bend the knee, launch the hand to the block, and you can do one of two poses. You're either going to be here or you can open up to the right towards the front door more. This is the easier version because you're looking down, less apt to be distracted versus rolling open. That's going to require more balance. Okay, you ready? Oh, to come out, what we're going to do is bend the knee, land the foot, come back to triangle, and then up. Okay, so inhale, lift your arms, straighten out that front leg, push down through the ball of that foot, and then sashay the hips back. Yep. Reach out over the left leg, windmill the hand down to the shin. Right arm reaches skyward. Pause here, breathe here, triangle. All right, now let's have some fun. Right arm circles back, and then down, look down. Lunge that left knee. Pop the hand onto the block. Extend long through the right limbs. This is your first phase. You're welcome to stay here. Otherwise, right arm lifts, roll open to the right. Good, stretch out the right limbs, look down, bend that front knee, tiptoe the back foot down to the floor. Then the left hand comes back to the shin, the right arm circles back and clock works up to the heavens. Good, inhale, draw up. Exhale, relax the arms. Can I take this block since we're just gonna use one? Is that okay? Claudia? It's because you have a thin one.
Oh.
And you see where your foot's located? You want the foot over here. A little bit closer. Right there. That's gonna, I think we're gonna land it down. Or actually we'll do switching. So did anyone have a thin block? I noticed Claudia did. The thin blocks get shaky. So the thick blocks are sturdier. Everybody's good there? Okay, set the right foot up. Swap the block to the other side. Take the pinky toe to it, and then walk or slide it back about a ruler's distance or a little bit more. Now step back with your left foot. Correct your left foot, let it be more parallel to the back of your mat. Your torso should turn to face the sidewall. Good, inhale, lift your arms up. All right, exhale, push back through your hips, lengthen out over the right leg. Good, windmill down, triangle pose. Triangle pose has lots of linear lines, really straight edges. And so you don't want to round the ribs. You want to pull in through the navel. You want to attempt to stack the shoulders. All right, let's have some pelvic balance. Lower the left arm down. Take it past the right foot, lunge that knee, hop the hand onto the block. Stretch out through the left limbs. Good, once you stretch out through the left limbs, maybe spiral open into your half moon. Good, breathe. When you're ready, bend that right knee, slowly tiptoe the left foot down, bring the right hand back to the shin, left arm skyward, recommit to Trikonasana, your triangle pose, and then slowly go all the way up to stand. Step the back foot forward, and we're going to move that block out of the way to the side, not the front. Now we're going to stand at the front of the mat. We're going to step back with the right foot. A little bit longer of a distance. We're going to lunge the left knee. And we're going to drop through the left thigh. All right, so notice what we tend to do is we lunge the knee and we kind of lean out over it. But we want equanimity in the side body. So we're pulling back in the waist. We're creating the equanimity here, shoulders over the hips, and then we're going to fly the arms up. Really glue down the back foot, push back to the right thigh bone, lift up to the crown of your head. Warrior two. All right, we're going to flow here. We're going to turn the thumbs up. We're going to bring the right hand around. We're going to take the weight off the right foot. And we're going to lift the knee. Balance. Breathe. And extend your right leg. Padagustasana deep. Try to avoid tucking this tailbone if you can. I'm just moving back so we won't fly. And then from here, we're going to launch it forward. Lunge that knee, step off your mat, come on over. I just didn't want to collide into him. And then arms lift up. That wouldn't be very yogic, would it? And from your crescent, hands to prayer. Lean forward, down to back. All right, we're going to do that again because that's fun. Right leg back, arms out. Thumbs turn up, right hand comes to the front,
Lean forward, take the weight off the right knee, lift it up. Inhale, extend the leg. Good, bring it forward and down. It's okay if you go off your mat. Arms lift up. Crescent. Good, palms together, lean it forward, giant sit back. All right. That's been the energy of 2021. We go forward, we come back, we go forward, we come back. Right? Have we maintained our equanimity? That's the question. Okay. Other side. Left leg sits back. Right knee lunges. Get enough space so that your thigh can potentially come to more of a 90-degree angle. And then if the waist is moving forward, equanimity of the side body. Arms float up. Head turns. Breathe well. Thumbs turn up. Back hand wraps around. Take the weight off the back foot. It's okay if you have to sit down with the left foot first before elevating the knee. Extend the leg. Drop it down. Inhale, arms up. Crescent. Hands to prayer. Lean forward. Sit it back. All right, again, left leg back. Arms out. Warrior two. Flip the hands. Left arm comes around in front. Weight off the back foot so you can balance and breathe here. Padangusthasana D. Come forward, giant step. Arms lift. Focal point with the eyes is important. Breath equally important. Hands to prayer. Giant step back. Find your equanimity. All right, we're going into a balancing pose of tree. Bend the right knee, open from the hip. So I want you to know if your balance is really off today, you can do this version of tree. It's the most gentle one. If you want to lift the calf or lift the foot to the calf, you can. If you want to glue the foot and the inner thigh together, you can. But we're going to lift the arms straight up today. It's actually hard being this close to a wall and gazing at this paint. Affirming, I am calm, balanced, I am poised. Arms release, foot descends. I'm not facing that way anymore. It's too close. That's messing with me. Okay. So what I want you to think about when we do the next tree. So think about palm. I know here in the south, we get strong winds and the pine trees just go, whoop, they just fall over. And then we always are devastated if the hurricanes take down the big oak trees. Because those are like our favorites, right? But think about on the coast, they have palm trees. They don't snap in two. They're able to be strong and flexible, and they're able to really sway with those strong winds. And they have such durability. And that's the idea of equanimity. Being able to stand strong, facing whatever heavy winds are coming our way, metaphorically. So ground your right foot. Bend your left knee, open from the hip. Heel to the ankle, to the calf, or higher. Just not to the knee. And then we'll take the arm straight up to represent the palm tree. Energy, vibration. Vibration will move you. It's okay to sway with the wind. Calm and poised. Balanced and equanimity. exhale. All right, we're bringing it back down to the floor here. So inhale, let your arms lift. Exhale, fold. And so if you did catch that, yes, indeed, you cater more to one side, shift your weight and make it more even here. Inhale, step back, plank. I'm gonna descend down to the knees. And this is where you may want extra padding. So check in to see how it feels if you double mat it. That may be plenty. If you feel like you need more, add in a blanket, crawl your knees on it. No, make sense. Let's see here. I had actually a couple things planned. Let's just do it all. Okay. The first thing I want you to do is line up in standing Vajrasana, which is this pose. And for the longest time, when I would be in this pose, this is what my feet would do. You see how my feet get pigeon-toed? I was really born pigeon-toed. And yoga has corrected my feet a lot, but it shows up in poses like this. So I want you to glance back over your shoulders, regardless if you were pigeon-toed or not. You may have that habit. So stretch through the top portions of your feet so your toes point back, ankles parallel. Okay, because that's part of the foundation. We're actually trying to push down through the shin of the foot there. And we're going to step the left foot forward, turn open from the hip. This is a kneeling form of tree. You got it. Take your time, especially if it's new. Kind of like, what? But instead of resting in the hip, you're lifting out of it. Hands to prayer. Seeing calm, seeing poise, seeing balance, and equanimity. When you're ready, set that knee down. Line up that ankle and foot. Step up with the other. Rotate open from the hip. Lift out of the standing side. Hands prayer. Gaze straight ahead. Breathe. Okay. Line up your legs, shins, ankles, and feet. Your arms are going to reach up in kind of a whimsical way. And you're going to arch back, opening up the gates of the heart. And then as you exhale, you're scooping in the belly, circling the arms around you, spilling down to your lap into child. But we're going to flow. Inhale to standing Vajrasana, arms lift. Exhale back to Ustrasana, camel. Inhale, pull back up. Exhale, round and tuck in. Inhale, draw up, standing Vajrasana. Exhale, arch back. Ustrasana. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, release down. Do more like that. Last one. Be here, breathe here. It's okay if the big toes want to come together because there's a liver meridian circuit. Your spine can gently round. You can rest on your brow. Shoulders mounting over the knees. Breathing into your back lungs. And inhale, slowly coming up. We'll do one more active pose before we rest. So come down to your seat. Extend your legs. Bend your right knee. pop the foot to the other side. If that is too much, or you're coming off your seat here, the foot can be here on the inside. Now notice if the knee wants to flop open, use your hand to lift the knee so it's pointed straight up, kind of crossing over towards the center of your chest. Left arm's gonna circle and hug and hold it in that place, and the right hand's gonna sweep behind the back. Lift through your heart center and exhale, roll back with your right shoulder. Yep. Wind yourself into the twist. Channel the breath up and down. Remember the 4 virtues were compassion, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. We affirm in this pose, I radiate my love, compassion, and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. There's so much hatred being spewed right now towards those people who don't agree with us or have the same opinion as us. And that gets us nowhere. United we stand, divided we fall. So really and truly mean it from your heart of hearts. I radiate my love, my goodwill, my compassion to soul friends everywhere. Exhale and one. Right leg extends, left knee bends. Hook that foot over if that works. Knee up, hug it in close. Left hand circles behind you and wind yourself around into the twist. It's okay to come back down into your low back and to check in to see, do I have a little bit more pliability to move into? It's okay to move to your mid back. Do I have a little bit more range here? And it's okay to check in with your neck. As long as you don't crank too hard or too much, that prohibits your breath. Then bring it to another level. I radiate my love, goodwill, and compassion to soul friends everywhere. Exhale. Ready to Shavasana. We're going to take the block on its low height. We're going to have the bolster turned up that way. We're going to scoop the legs over. And then you can do one of two things with the blanket. The blanket could go underhead for a little extra padding. But you could also open up the blanket, fold it in half, drape it over your belly, the rim of the pelvis, and tuck it into your side waist. And that is very comforting and very grounding. We're going to dim the lights while you get settled. Equanimity is having the ability to see without being so caught up, opinionated, or emotional about what we see. Equanimity is considered the true ground for wisdom and power. So I want you to go into that mindful state of observation.
observing the thoughts and feelings and sensation when they come and go. Even observing distraction as it comes and goes. And the practice here is non-attachment. Letting each one go. This way we're staying unbiased. One way to do this is to simply observe the breath without controlling. Another way is just listening to the sounds in the room. And allowing that to lead you to some deep inner listening. Hearing the sound of the mindfulness bell chimes. Take that as your cue to begin to enliven your breath. To awaken a little movement in your hands and feet. Or perhaps rolling your head from shoulder to shoulder. Ready? Curl the knees into the upper body. Wrap your arms around with metta, love and kindness towards yourself. Passionately rock and sway from side to side, giving a little love to your kidneys and back. When you're ready, roll to one side. Return to a comfortable seat. Sitting attentively, the eyes closed, checking in. Hope is that you created and cultivated some equanimity for yourself. The challenge before us is to maintain this as we work back into the world. Remember, you have these tools and techniques available at any time. You don't necessarily have to be in a studio or to roll out a mat. The breath is something we often take for granted, but it's always there under the tip of the nose. Bring your hands to prayer. The light and the love within my heart bows to the love and the light within yours. I am seated in my heart, and you are seated in yours. We are one. Namaste. Thanks you guys for joining today. I hope it's what you needed. I hope it was fun. I hope you take the message with you. You're welcome. So in case you're wondering, Saturday, that workshop I'm doing is 11. No, that's not right. 1:30 to 3:30, and it's going to be 2 hours of restoration, so restorative yoga. But I will begin talking about the astrology and numerology for 2022. I'm also bringing in my single crystal bowls, and I will end with the sound meditation. So I'm doing that as kind of a combo of all of it. And we are open New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
You guys do live streams like that?
No. But